Deebo Samuel hospitalized. Aiyuk done for the year with probably a torn ACL and some sort of MCL and maybe even meniscus damage. We'll know more on Brandon Aiyuk's actual slew of injuries. But Deebo Samuel hospitalized. We'll talk about that. Fluid in the lungs means pneumonia 9 times out of 10. So we'll find out how he's doing. What's his likelihood of playing week number 8? We've got a whole bunch of other news. CMC, DK Metcalf with a grade 1 MCL sprain, which is a week-to-week situation. And Cooper Kupp returns this week, most likely. What's the workload going to be like? Sean McVay talks about it. Whole bunch of more news to break down. We've got the Monday Night Football games kickoff countdown show also right here on this show. All combined into one. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Deebo Samuel in the hospital with pneumonia, apparently, fluid in the lungs. He was on the sideline, didn't play in week 7 and do anything, and fantasy owners got screwed out of that last minute decision. And, you know, we're here to selfishly talk about that. I'm not here to sugarcoat and not chew gum and walk at the same time. We're not here going, oh, poor Deebo, how can we talk about fantasy? This is what we do. This is what we do. So we're here to criticize the situation. It's constant with the Niners. CMC has a little cavy poo injury. Just a little bit of a cavy poo. That's all. Nothing big. Oh, by the way, all of you have drafted now. It's actually a calf/Achilles. And oh, later on during the middle of the season, it's not a calf/Achilles. It's both Achilles. He has Achilles. By the way, he has Achilles tendonitis in both of his calves. Oh, by the way, Deebo Samuel's not going to play because he has fluid in his lungs. But we don't get to know any of that information because Shanahan continues to get away with this time and time again, letting everybody know half of the story, quarter of the story. And at the same time, his team is in shambles, in absolute shambles. Ricky Pearsall value goes to the moon. Juwan Jennings value goes to the moon potentially. George Kittle, uptick. Jordan Mason, you can bet your bottom dollar this man, the Masonites will assemble, even if it is for one more game as a full-go Masonite community. You know, not saying that CMC won't, that he'll be back and doing absolutely remarkable, unbelievable things upon the Week 9 bye week that the Niners have. So, I don't know. I don't think CMC is going to ever be back to form, ever, let alone this year. And will he be taking anything more than half of the volume from Mason in the worst of case scenarios? That's the only thing I can envision. Anything is possible, though. Who knows what he had done overseas? They might have given him 2 completely new metal Achilles tendons. Some sort of procedure. But I know until then, though, coming off of the very, mediocre game against the KC Chiefs, Masonites might be scared, but we do have one more game of leaning on this man. Now, I'm not saying Deebo's even out week 8, but there's certainly some concern here, and that does affect some of the buy low conversations that we have. It might make us buy low even further, keeping in mind that Aiyuk is out for the long-term part of the season. Deebo, if he does hit a roadblock this week after a very disappointing week 7 to say the least, we might have people completely on freak out, Deebo sucks, I don't want him mode. And then we are still buying him on the low. But this real quickly is some news on Jordan Mason.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah. We have to. Let's go. Start the procedure. Masonites assemble.
Deebo Samuel hospitalized, fluid in the lungs. Aiyuk done for the season, torn ACL, and maybe much worse than that. So hang tight on the news for Aiyuk. Not that it matters much for this year, but maybe, it tells the story about what his recovery could be or not be walking into 2025. DK Metcalf, this is awful. It's good news and bad news. The good news is a grade 1 MCL sprain. The bad news is he's week to week, which is not day to day. This is week to week. So we'll have to figure out how to approach this situation. JSN, uptick in value. Kenneth Walker, uptick in value. I do remember a video clip we may have on Kenneth Walker. I think it's
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth lightsaber swinging Skywalker.
So there's that piece of news. DK Metcalf, there you go. We got Cooper Kupp. This is Sean McVay saying that on Monday that he was uncertain about Cooper Kupp's workload for the Thursday's Week 8 contest against the Vikings. So we'll find out what his workload could be. I think he plays. This references the fact that he's probably going to play, but we don't know if there's some sort of limitation. We'll have to go through your lineups and decide whether a potentially limited Cooper Kupp, without probably knowledge about what the limitation may or may not be, is that better than a player that's not limited that is a lesser known player. JT Colts coach Shane Steichen said that he's optimistic that Jonathan Taylor will practice this week. This isn't an optimistic he'll play, but if he practices, he'll probably play. If he's practicing at least on multiple limited bases, then we know he will probably play. So hang tight on that info, but this is a good buy low RB. We'll have our buy low show either tonight, late night, or tomorrow. And you can bet your bottom dollar JT will be on that list, as well as Deebo with some cautionary tales. Christian McCaffrey, he's ramping up. He's ramping. I see reports all over from Niner pages everywhere saying it's probably a stretch that he plays in Week 8. Of course he's not playing in Week 8. Why? I mean, would Shanahan try that? Maybe. Maybe he would. I don't know. But this guy shouldn't even return at all in October, and he probably won't. November, mid-November should be his likely availability. But keep in mind one thing about chronic, not temporary. This will go away. Achilles tendonitis in both Achilles, one being worse than the other. This is chronic. Keep one thing in mind. It comes and goes without any sort of, alerting or some sort of suspicion that it's on the way. Like, it gets worse. It comes and goes, gets worse. He's older. As he's getting older, because the wear and tear is so bad, and your Achilles tendon is you could think of it like almost like a rope. You know how there's different pieces of the rope that are woven together, you could kind of say. And the calf comes into you can think of it like a spiral twist that goes into your Achilles tendon, and there's just different weaves of that rope, and it's fraying. Every little piece is fraying. Now, maybe the technology over in Europe or where, Germany, do you go to Germany? Maybe they've got something where they've been testing out a new injection, and they've got stem cells and different things that can repair and help regenerate different pieces of ligaments and such, that he might have some repair going on. It's hard to know. The technology front on this is so crazy in different parts of the world. Who knows what he had done? He obviously went overseas to have something done that he couldn't have done over here. So, but for the most part, your Achilles tendon is not something that, oh yeah, it's healing. Just time off and it will start to heal like a grade 1 MCL tear, which is what DK Metcalf has. Time off, it will get to be 100%. The Achilles tendon, think of it like that rope. You're just fraying piece after piece of that rope. Eventually, that thing's going to pop. And if Christian McCaffrey goes out there and tries to play week number 8, which he's not going to do, but the Niner report saying it's a stretch that he plays week. He's not a stretch. The only stretch it would be is his Achilles tendon before it snapped in half if he decided to play week 8. But if he rushes back even after the bye week, the first game after the bye week, so week 8 they play, week 9 they have a bye, week 10 he rushes back and tries to take on 60% of the workload, one of those Achilles tendons, most likely the one that is far worse off than the other, will snap. And for anybody that says that he doesn't have a higher likelihood of tearing his Achilles tendon than the average bear, like some people have reported, don't know what in the hell they're talking about. Because that Achilles tendon's going to pop like that if he goes out there. And think of Greenlaw when he was sitting on the sideline during the Super Bowl, and he just took his one leg, planted to run onto the field. He wasn't full go sprinting. He wasn't getting hit. He wasn't cutting left and right. He literally just tried to run on the field, and the explosiveness, probably, 20, 30% of the use of his leg to explode to run onto the field, snapped his Achilles tendon. Why? Was it freak? Would it have happened to anybody? No, it wouldn't have. The Achilles tendon is a wearing down type of thing. It's the fraying of that Achilles tendon. All those little pieces of that rope in the Achilles tendon fraying, snapping one at a time. This is what's happening to Christian McCaffrey's Achilles. He's not getting better. People need to understand that. Could he go out and have three games going 100% then tear it? Yes. It's certainly possible. But he also has to have good days consecutively. Not only will he struggle to have good weeks, he plays week 11, plays week 12 consecutively. He's got to have good days in between and have it all line up. He could have a good half and a bad half. He could go out there in one half and then have to come out because he's having a bad moment. Then it's not something that goes away. It's chronic. Understand that. Understand that. He's probably cooked. The CMC that you know and love is gone. And that means Jordan Mason's in a Monty, like let's say McCaffrey's able to do 50% of the work and stay there. Stay kind of floating in existence for a while. You're talking about CMC and Mason being a Monty and Gibbs situation where Monty is going to potentially be way more valuable than what I think CMC would be in this 1-2 punch. But Mason could prove to be near that Gibbs volume and Gibbs capability, which is a top 5 to 10 running back. And look, Mason has been a top 5 running back all year. Andy Reid has already ruled out Juju Smith-Schuster from week number 8. The Chiefs have to go looking for a receiver, whether it's Christian Kirk, whether it's Tyler Lockett, whether it's Deontay Johnson. Will be very interesting. For some reason, I see Johnson. I see the back of the uniform. This guy running onto the field, Deontay. I could kind of see that for some reason. That to me, I have no information on that. I just for some reason I picture Deontay Johnson getting traded to the Chiefs, and you'd see me become a slight Deontay Johnson fan, just because the volume would be there. That would be the first time Smitty's ever rooting on Deontay Johnson. I can't stand the oversaturated love for Deontay Johnson. But Schuster already out for week 8. This team has been hit hard. Patrick Mahomes can't catch a break. And all the people saying he's trash. Not, hey, his situation is difficult. He's trash. He's not good at fantasy. He's only good at NFL quarterbacking. His situation is not right now good for fantasy. It has nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes, even though a lot of people think it is. Even though a lot of haters that hate Patrick Mahomes, just like people hated Tom Brady. And they'd always come up with a reason to hate on Tom Brady, rag on Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not this, Tom Brady's not that. But goodness gracious, Patrick Mahomes, 6-0. You can't hold him back. All the excuses that Niner fans are making about that sideline run. Oh, that was unfair because Patrick Mahomes used the rules to his advantage. You could still grab the quarterback. Don't make an excuse because your defense doesn't know how to tackle Patrick Mahomes. Don't make an excuse. You could have at least grabbed him with your hands and ushered him out of bounds very gently. You don't need to, he can't touch Patrick Mahomes near the sideline. What a big crock of excuses. Your whole defense gave up on that play. I love watching people make excuses for why Patrick Mahomes is able to do what Patrick Mahomes is doing. It's ridiculous. Is he scoring on a fantasy level? No. But are you a hater of Patrick Mahomes? Clearly. Lot of Patty haters out there. So funny. It's hilarious to watch. People in shambles. Okay, Chris Olave told reporters Monday that he remains. Dennis Allen told reporters that Chris Olave remains in the concussion protocol. Let's hope he can get out of that. Other wide receivers also that could get traded to the Chiefs include DeAndre Hopkins. I don't. Yeah, some of the cap stuff we'd have to look at too. We don't have the contracts in front of us right now, but man, it's gonna be wild. They've got to make a move. They have to go trade for somebody. It's gonna be crazy. Tank Dell. Look, I know a lot of people are gonna give up on Tank Dell. I'm still starting him in a handful of leagues as my wide receiver, or actually as my flex 1 and 2 in a 2 flex, league. It's very important to get Tank Dell involved in the offense, says CJ Stroud. And keep in mind, he scored the week prior. I know a lot of people are going to run from this, but there is probably a blow-up game coming, and I can guarantee the people that have benching him they're going to be mad. The people that start him, they're mad. It's just, there's not a good situation. And honestly, I blame Stroud, not Tank Dell. But it is what it is, and there's a recognizing of the situation. Last night, I had a knee-jerk reaction to say that, you bench Tank Dell no matter what. I don't know that that's necessarily the case. It depends on each of your situations, but the pop-off game's coming. The game you sit him will be the game that he blows up. It's happening. So, get ready for it. If you want to put him on the bench, do it for my sake. Do it for anybody's sake that wants to hang on to Tank Dell. But he's gonna hit a home run the moment a majority of people bench him, and that's just gonna make people hate him worse. They're just gonna hate him even more. Think of it kind of like Ridley last year. Ridley would bomb for 2 or 3 games in a row. Majority of fantasy would bench him, and then he'd have a pop-off game, and no one was able to exploit it. CJ Stroud is playing like garbage. That's what it is. 86 yards. How is Tank supposed to do anything? How is Tank supposed to do anything? Buy Patrick Mahomes. You bet your bottom dollar I'm still buying him. Okay. Spencer Rattler will start week 8 against the Chargers if Derek Carr is unable to go. I think Spencer Rattler did not take the job away from Derek Carr. I think that was evident. And honestly, I saw some more footage, extended footage. I didn't actually ever see the entire clip for whatever reason of Spencer Rattler berating and belittling his teammates in high school. And it was absolutely despicable, this kid, Spencer Rattler. And it wasn't one of those things where it's like, okay, he's young, he made a mistake. This is a character problem. And as much as I was kind of on board the Spencer Rattler train, his bad play mixed with watching that footage. Remember when NFL teams, I want to say a handful, maybe even 10 or more, said they couldn't get the footage out of their mind of what Spencer Rattler said to his teammates in high school in the documentary that was done on Spencer Rattler as he was climbing, becoming one of the top quarterback recruits in the nation. And he belittled his teammates saying, you're bad, you're trash, you're dropping everything, I'm throwing perfect balls. And they confronted him and said, can you talk me up instead of tearing me down? Can you talk me up? He's like, no, because you're trash. He's just a bad quality character guy. Spencer Rattler's kind of a piece of garbage. And I admit I didn't see the full clip until this weekend, and I'm kind of mad at myself for not watching that beforehand and finding the whole full clip to it. I saw some of it, and I thought I had seen majority of it, but this kid is not a high quality character guy. He may have got over it. He may have matured a little bit. I'm not saying he didn't, but he was definitely in full tearing down his entire teammate mode. And I can't imagine a lot of teammates, backed him or supported him. It's wild. David Montgomery, no issue with his knee. This is surprising because David Montgomery needed help off the field. He couldn't even bear weight on his injured knee. It looked worse than Rashee Rice's leg, when they brought him off the field. The actual hit didn't. But when he was coming off, I thought to myself, this guy's done. He can't even put a single bit of weight on it at all. Aiyuk was able to walk on the torn ACL and MCL. You can walk on a torn ACL as long as the ACL, once the ACL inside the knee like this, once the ACL snaps, it can float around like a broken rubber band. And if it gets caught in the way of the knee joint when it closes, it can become a problem. And it feels like somebody's hooking up electrical cables to your knee and to a car battery and going full go at it when anything is in the middle of the joint when you close it. Think of it like the door, when you put something in the door jamb, like your finger, and you close the door. It's like the reverse of that, where the pain is for the knee joint. The door is what's, painful, not your finger, if your finger's in the door joint. But that can cause a problem when you're walking. But you can walk on a torn ACL. There have been players that continued to play on a torn ACL if it was a clean ACL tear. Alandis Gary tore his ACL, running back for the Denver Broncos, played the entire second half with a torn ACL, and then he was out for the season after the game. So knee injuries are very complex. They're different. There's a lot of moving parts and variables. David Montgomery looked like he was done for the season. Helped off the field, couldn't bear weight. A series later, he was back out there. Looked like nothing ever happened. Now, I'm not mad at this. I didn't want injury. I don't wish injury upon anybody. I really don't. And I don't want Monty out. I think if Monty was out, sure, we would come in and celebrate Gibbs' newfound volume. And we would say, yeah, this is great for Gibbs. Not trashing Monty at all, but great for Gibbs. And you can do both at the same time. Cheer on one player and not disrespect another. But at the end of the day, you don't want this guy out of the game, because then Gibbs has to take on all of those grunt between the tackles, 3.5 yard per carries that even Gibbs is going to get 3.5 yards per carry. You want Gibbs getting all the gravy work on the outsides, the swing plays, catching the football on the flat, lining up on the slot, all over the place. You want him and Monty on the field at the same time. And Monty has nothing to do with Gibbs. If Gibbs is able to, in this offense, if they run the ball 539 times a year and they give 200 carries, 225 carries to each of them, they still need somebody else to run the ball a little bit to accumulate their 579 total totes. People are wild to think that Monty in the equation hurts Gibbs or that Gibbs hurts Monty. They're equals in some sense, sure. But who's the more explosive player? Gibbs. Are they going to rotate scoring? Exactly as I said. I came on live and said Gibbs was the best buy low in fantasy, walking into week number 7, walking into week number 6. CeeDee Lamb is the best buy low, walking not only into week number 8, coming off the bye week, but I said it last week, walking out of week 7. These are the best buy low RB wide receiver combo we will see the entire season. There's no bigger win a league move right now via trade than getting CeeDee Lamb, or you getting last week Jahmyr Gibbs before Jahmyr Gibbs did what he just did. 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I'm not just running my mouth. I've got data and algorithmic science behind what I'm saying. This is not me just saying, oh yeah, I'm just my gut instinct. This is algorithms, data, science, kinetic energy that's involved in calculating this stuff. Let me just show you. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10.
This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara. Smitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara?
No. Got him.
Yeah, so anyway, Monty is out there doing his thing, and that's fine. We want that. Monty's going to score a touchdown a game from here on out. Like, even if he has 0 touchdowns one game, he'll have a game where he has 2 touchdowns. I fully expect him to be a double-digit touchdown getter by the end of the year. I still expect the same thing out of Jahmyr Gibbs, and I expect Jahmyr Gibbs to be a top 5 running back more times than anybody, maybe but Kyron Williams. and Barkley. If I'm drafting over today, right now, if I'm drafting over today, number one is either going to be Barkley or Kyren. Let's just put it as Barkley. Number two is Kyren. Number three is probably a combination of Jamar Chase. You could say JJ, if you will, if you wanted. And Jahmyr Gibbs is in this conversation. Gibbs is in the conversation for one of the top 3 picks in fantasy football go forward if drafting for week 8 through 17. DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson is potentially still looking, the finger injury, looking to start week number 8. If not, it would be Winston, who had some very, very harsh things to say for fans, and rightly so, who booed Deshaun Watson. I can understand why they booed him, but it is not a good look to be booing somebody who just tears their Achilles tendon. But at the same time, you know, you understand that this fan base is like about had it with what he's done emotionally, you know, to this franchise. It's not like he seems to be a normal person to them. I can't speak for myself. I mean, I could, but I'm trying to summarize what I believe the average Browns fan is feeling. All the emotional trauma, the emotional damage that the fans have endured, and then watching his contract be the reason that the coaching staff and the brass upstairs won't remove him from the starting lineup. And now he's removed, and fans just had a moment where they you might make fun of Winston, but I'd rather have one Winston than 10 regular friends, because that guy will give you the support you need. That guy will give you the support you need. We got kickoff here of the Ravens Monday Night Football game. An hour later, we'll have kickoff of the other game, the Cardinal game. So this will be exciting. We got super chats to get to. Let me see if I have any that are time sensitive here. Let's see here. Trade my T. Higgins for Devontae Adams. I'd rather have T. Higgins right now. Let me see if I can find any that are time sensitive to right now. Have Henry and needs 25 points. You think he gets it done tonight? 25, that'll be close. I think he could, sure. I'd hate to be betting against it. Sean Tucker, where the stash? Drop Tolbert? Sure, absolutely do that. I definitely do that. We got a bunch of $20 haulers in here too. Love for DJ Moore and A Rich. I have Mahomes and lost Deebo. Yeah, I could get behind that, bro, for sure. I know a lot of other people won't, but I would totally take that gamble just to get another receiver in there. Deebo's also a good buy low right now as well. Let's get to these super chats in order in which they were received. We got a $20 hauler from Arthur. Appreciate Arthur dropping the 20 watt on screen. Kickoff is happening right now. Kickoff is happening as we speak. We got Jonathan with a $5 hauler. I'll put you right here, pal. Appreciate you. Average Jeff dropping a $20 hauler right here. Average, appreciate you. Dendrick, appreciate you. Or Dentrick, I appreciate you putting your $20 hauler right here. Then we got this Miles, the first $20 hauler of the night. Got your super chat right here. Mitchell with the $9.99. I'll put you right over here, Mitchell. Thank you for dropping that. Tua, Gibbs, Achane, Kupp, Dell, Kincaid, Reed, Chase Brown. Benches, Coleman, Wright, Fields, Tracy, TJ Hawkinson, Ray Davis. I'm 1-6. Am I cooked? Any moves? Would you start Coleman over Dell? I think right now I might, but I do think Dell will have the pop-off game here this week or next week. So it's a tough call. I really think they're going to make it a point to get him the football. They realize this is a mistake. They realize the reason 86 yards was the total that Stroud had. But then again, can Stroud do it? Baker scrambling for about 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2. I think I'll probably go with Coleman. He's the hot hand right now. And as for this team, I don't think you're cooking. I think, bro, you had some injuries and you had some bye weeks. Tua got injured. He's back. Gibbs, he's full go right now, just doing Gibbs things. Achane, he's been practically hurt because his quarterback's been hurt, so he's been playing like he's been out. But he looked really good in week 7, just they stopped using him. But don't think for a second that Achane wasn't really effective, and he was a huge integral part of the offense. The offense just couldn't move the ball. Rashad White's playing tonight, by the way. There's a 3-headed backfield in Tampa, which makes it kind of a lesser attractive backfield. If I'm gambling on the backfield at all, it will be Sean Tucker and Sean Tucker alone. As far as this team, I'm going to say stand down, bro, and ride this out. You've got Kupp coming back. You've got Reed, who's very underrated right now. Maybe you try and trade for Deebo or Kupp using potentially, I would say, Chase Brown, maybe Coleman, maybe Dell, or if you need to, or Reed if you need to. It's just hard to trade Reed right now. There's a lot of panic Peters on the Reed front. So I'd probably say I'm standing down. I would say this team is capable of coming back without even a trade. It's just you had some bad luck, some injuries, and some bye weeks, and then some correlated injuries like Tua that took out starters that were on the field like Achane. Don't freak out. Travis Etienne, Jaden Reed for MHJ. I'd probably, in Cole Kmet, I'd probably say I like Reed a little more than MHJ right now, but I think MHJ is going to get there. I think this will be an even trade at some point, and I could even see it being, even if it takes some time, I could see it being a trade that I'm on the MHJ side for. It's just a matter of, can you wait and hold on for that to happen? And maybe it happens tonight. You know, maybe you hold your finger over the button, and the moment MHJ shows signs of being the wide receiver we know he could be, and Kyler could be the quarterback we know he can be, and I know it's going to happen. There's moments this year where it has happened. There's a half of football where Marvin Harrison Jr. showed he's a top 5 wide receiver in the National Football League, and it's coming. So hold your finger over the button if you can, and execute the trade on the MHJ side if he blows up or starts to blow up in the game. But I love Reed. Both sides are great. You're not making a mistake doing it or not doing it. I'll tell you that right now. And as for the rest of your team, Bucky Irving getting a carry up the gut. As for the rest of your team, I'm trying to trade like James Conner into an Achane off of the perceived bad game of Achane. I'd trade for JT right now using Conner. And if you have to use a player like, I'd use Reed, but if I use Reed, I probably want to do a 2 for 2. If I use Chase Brown and Conner together, which is hard to do because who's your running back 2 at that point? Can't really do that, can you? You probably got to roll with Chase Brown. I'd trade Conner and potentially a Reed to upgrade that running back into Achane. That's probably what my favorite move would be for your team. Average Jeff, appreciate you. Hand off to Bucky again. Bucky gets about he's about 1 yard shy, 4th and 1. Probably going to go for it, I think, on this. Gibbs, Hubbard, Kyron, Nico, Mooney, Nick, Dak, Laporta, and Freiermuth. 7-0. Wow. Is there anything I can do? I'll tell you right now, when you're 7-0, you can't trip and fall into that. But I love Gibbs and Kyron. I'm waiting on Nico if I'm you. Hubbard's playing great right now. And if you can start 3. Baker sneaking that? No, who was that? That wasn't Baker. That was McMillan. Nice job, McMillan. That was a quick handoff. I thought that was just Baker running a. Yeah, that was good. That was a good play call. McMillan's exciting. He is, but he doesn't really have much opportunity right now. 7-0. I like this team a lot. I'm probably going to say hang tight. Dak, Laporta. I like Laporta. Don't freak out on Laporta. I'm going to say there's not much movement for you anyway. And I don't want to break up your RBs. I think Dak comes around too. Touchdown throw, Mike Evans. That's why Mike Evans is always a buy low. Baker's playing great football. Baker's playing such good football right now. Good for Baker, man. Good for Baker. This is the year of Baker and Darnold. Baker's just, the more you hear about his teammates talking about him too, just how exciting of a teammate he is and how amazing of a teammate he is. Mike Evans is definitely banged up still. He's even limping a little bit right now. But he's such a force. He's such a touchdown machine. Evans is phenomenal. Baker, touchdown maker is back. What a nice strike. What a nice 7-0 punishment they just put on the Ravens. 7-0 with 10:27 left. Yeah, Evans is struggling, though. You could tell he's looking to stretch right now. He's got the hamstring issue right now. Good team. Stay with this average. Jeff, I'm not really moving anything. Arthur, $20 hauler. Allen, Achane, Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, Dowdle, Brooks. I'm definitely tempted to trade Brown, Chase Brown, Dowdle, or Brooks with maybe Amari Cooper off the touchdown. Keep Lamb, keep Chase, keep BT. Yeah, you could get rid of Cooper and one of those RBs for an Achane, a JT, a Tyreek Hill, a Deebo Samuel on the cheap. Deebo's going to increase in value. I don't care if he misses week 8. There's still a lot of value. Nico Collins would be phenomenal for you. Those would be my top 2 targets for you. Cooper Kupp would also be. Trade offer, I receive Achane and CD Lamb for Allen and JSN. I'd take that in a heartbeat. Assuming you're going to be okay at QB, but even if you weren't, I would probably make another trade to get a quarterback and say screw it, because that's too good a value to pass up. $10 hauler. Aiyuk owner is asking for my neighbors. I have London, Dell, Downs, Waddle. I'm weak at running back. They have Achane, Jacobs, Brian Robinson, Mason. Do I make a trade? I would probably trade neighbors for Achane, but I'm trying to do a 2 for 2 that makes sense for you, that you like. Like, hence you upgrade Waddle, or you upgrade Waddle, or you upgrade Brooks or Bigsby into like a JT or something like that, and or actually you got to go wide receiver. So you're getting Achane for neighbors. You're trying to turn Bigsby, Bucky, or Brooks, probably going to be Bigsby because of his huge game, and he's a good running back too right now, into a wide receiver like Tyreek Hill, etc. Mike Evans would have been great. Now that's off the table. Even one touchdown will do that. It'll take away the ability to trade for him. But that's kind of the move. The 2 for 2 would make the most sense. Would I trade neighbors and Achane straight up? I suppose I would. But I think you can get more. Superflex, Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Brees, Kyron, Corum, JJ Puka, Aiyuk, Hollywood, Pittman, Robinson, Yoshi Voss, McBride, currently 4-3. I think my season is cooked. Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Brees. Well, Superflex, you just need Stroud to get back to form, and I can't guarantee he will be, but yeah, Mike Evans, I mean, he's just banged up. He's still getting in the end zone. It's crazy, man. He's so good. He's such a force out there. CJ, you just need Stroud to do well. You got Kyron and Brees. Hang tight on that. Puka's coming back. JJ, Aiyuk. You're not cooked, bro. In fact, you know what's crazy is the fact that you're that panicked. You're getting Puka back soon. Not now, but soon. Aiyuk and Pittman, or Aiyuk and Hollywood, that's horrible luck. McBride hasn't done anything yet, but he will. There's no trade for you to even make. Do your best at receiver. Piecemeal that and let the rest of your team pull through. I think once Puka's back, you're going to be in really good shape. So I would not fret at all, bro. Your team is really, really solid. I need wide receiver 1 as my. I only have Dell and Worthy. They have Achane, or no, you have Achane, Kyron, and Hall. Should I trade Hall for MHJ and Bigsby? Not enough, but I'm not opposed to you making a trade. But I'm wanting like a JT and MHJ. I'm wanting a Tyreek Hill and Walker. Like, you don't get something like that. I don't just do it and take the top option. I waited out another week to get what I need. I'm 2-5, 12-team league. Hurts, Hall, Monty, Nico, Kupp, Dell, Pitts, likely, Chase Brown, BA. Any thoughts? I'd probably say with this team, you're probably kind of held in check for a little bit unless you were to do something similar. Hall for 2 players, and we're talking like Tyreek Hill and a JT. You know, Hall's that good, and those 2 players are not performing at all. So I don't know how. Lamar Jackson with the nice sneak up the gut. That was a nice play. Tricked the cameraman, tricked everybody. They thought it was like an end around to or a handoff to Zay Flowers in motion, and even the camera crew didn't get that one right. I would say it's got to be something huge though, bro. Can't trade Monty off the lower game as much as you would normally be able to. Kupp and Nico are kind of hurting people, so like why would anybody want them? JMO down week. I'm not trading anybody but Hall right now. If I was to do a trade, I'm not even saying I would. I kind of like your team a lot the way it is. I think you can hang tight for another week. 2-5 doesn't scare me with this team. You just had some bad luck with Kupp and Nico. That's a lot to lose, bro. You know, that's a whole lot to lose. It hurts on the bye week, like there's Monty on the bye week, and that's a lot to endure. You've been without pieces for a while. There's an explanation of why you're 2-5. So don't freak out, but certainly explore a trade with Hall, but it has to be two monsters. Not like, as much as I like Bigsby, I'm not ready to call him that top level player yet, because you still don't know what that looks like. I like him a lot, but I don't know that I put him in that category with that trade that the other guy had. I will want something different. Fumble by Derrick Henry. You do my first comment, and also Diggs or Adams rest of season. Diggs or Adams. I'd probably say Adams, but I don't know, man. Like, Stroud's playing like trash. Aaron Rodgers is too, but I do figure they will. Okay, that the ground can't cause the fumble, but was that ball out? It was a little close. It was like falling out when his like butt was hitting the ground. Lamar getting smashed. Sack. 3rd and probably 16. Tough call, Mac. I mean, really, it could go either way. It could go either way, my guy. Daniel with a super chat. Worthy to the moon in week 8. Look, how could he not? How could he not? He's the only option. They got to get Worthy involved. Oh, man, Tampa is just rocking Lamar into oblivion. 4th down, another sack. It's gonna be like 4th and like 22 or something like that. That is crazy. Lamar got pummeled twice in a row. Great defensive play calling. Yeah, Worthy's got... I mean, I know people are going to rip on it and say, I'm not going near Worthy, but Worthy's got to do something. Smitty, need 19 points. We going MHJ or Connor? Connor's safer, Ricky. Do I think he gets you like 18 points, though? You know what I mean? Like, MHJ is going to get you 4 points or 21. Connor's going to get you probably above 10. He's probably double digit. But is he going to get you like 18? Chat, vote. Connor or MHJ? Connor's probably safer. I just don't know if he's going to get you there. MHJ has the upside, especially if it's PPR. If it's PPR, I kind of lean MHJ, but it is risky, bro. Traded Diggs and Downs for Hill. I'm fine with that. I think that's the way to go. That's the way to get into a Tyreek Hill right now. Nice job, pal. Appreciate you. We got a MHJ Connor. MHJ for 19. Ricky says PPR. Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm going MHJ, but I'm telling you that Connor's safer. Mahomes, Gibbs, Achane, Barkley, Terry, Addison, Wandell, benches Braylon. Offered Barkley for CD, got rejected. Wow. I don't know why, but okay. I would just hold Barkley. You need to get CD and something. I don't know why you did that. You want to get CD and something if you're going to trade Barkley. So, Mahomes, Gibbs, Achane, Barkley. You know, bro, if you're starting all 3 running backs, it doesn't unless you're getting 2 players, you try to do 1-for-1, and that would make no sense. You're just moving a flex around essentially, and you're not keeping the better player. So if you're gonna do that, you got to get Lamb and somebody. But if let's say you were to go Tyreek Hill or Deebo with a potential top 6 to 10 running back, top 5 to 10 running back, like, that's fine. But I'd almost just say, Can you do it another way? Can you trade Brooks for a Kupp or Brooks for a Nico and ride it out for just a little longer and get Nico Collins back? Can you trade Brooks for Deebo right now? Brooks for Kupp injured. You know, Kupp is banged up still. I'd be more tempted to go that direction. You didn't answer my first super chat, Worthy or Ferguson. Mac, I don't know that you didn't send another super chat. You only sent the one I looked and there was another. It didn't go through. Worthy or Ferguson? I'd rather have Ferguson. I'm sorry, I'd rather have Worthy. Going forward, I'd rather have Worthy, especially with Juju out right now, but it's close, bro. It's close. It is what it is. I mean, it's a tight end versus a player that's now the number one for his team, unquestioned number one for his team, where they have to change and figure out a way to do something different. Oh, what a throw by Baker. What a throw by Baker. Unbelievable. He's baking. Good for Baker. He looks great. He looks fantastic. Baker scrambling in the pocket, moving around. What a throw. What a throw. Way to keep the play alive. Bucky rerouting. Nice catch. I love Bucky. It's a clouded situation. Daniel, Worthy versus LV. Nobody else. Come on. Fire up the grill. Let's cook. I agree, Daniel. I agree. Worthy's got to cook. He has to. Love and Worthy for Purdy BT. Rather have, I don't know the way Purdy looked right now. He looks good one game. He looks horrible the next game. Lost Deebo. Well, you may have lost Deebo for one game. You may have not. Who knows? We'll find out. Probably out of game, I imagine, but you never know. It could be a 2-3 day thing. Love and Worthy. It's just his lungs he might be really like pushing it, and then they're going to risk like him getting sick by pushing it. So he probably will miss a game in the bye week. I think that's the way the Niners are going to look at it. The bye week's there. Now he gets 2 weeks off to rest up his lungs and stuff. I think he's going to sit. Baker threading the needle. It should be Godwin. I'd probably say give me... Chat, can we vote on this one? Purdy, is BT a big enough upgrade over Worthy that you're willing to take on Purdy for Love? Or is Love too big of a touchdown getter? I kind of lean toward Love and Worthy. But it's close, bro. It's really close. Evans is out there still. Don't worry. 3 running back start. Wasn't 1 for 1. He said no trades. I'm 4-2. I'll be honest, I don't really know what you're saying here. 3 running back start, wasn't 1 for 1. Just said no trades. I'm 4-2. Okay. Let's see here. Three running back start, wasn't 1 for 1. Okay, he just said no trades. Gotcha, Anthony. Definitely interested in like combos, but I'm looking for like JT and a Hill, you know, a Walker and a Hill, a Nico and a JT, an Achane and a Nico, an Achane and a Deebo. Trade my Brooks, Worthy, Pat, Drake for Hurts, MHJ. Give me the Hurts, MHJ side. Max, appreciate you. Keon plus Dell enough for Deebo? Probably not, my guy, but I mean, you can certainly throw it after him. I mean, I don't think you could trade guys that aren't doing anything. Evans, they keep showing Evans' replay of him going to the sideline kind of banged up. He's out there, though. He's definitely hurting. My team is for Aaron. My Terry for Aaron Jones. Terry Scary for Aaron Jones, Singletary. If you need a running back, I'm fine with that. Wait, my Terry for Aaron Jones, Singletary, and Olave? And Tracy? I would take Olave and Aaron Jones for Scary Terry, yeah. Olave's still in the concussion protocol. He may not play this week, but I probably would take that. That's tough, though. That is Aaron Jones is good enough, though, alone, you know what I mean? Giving London, Pacheco, receiving Love, Kupp, Chubb. Smitty approved. London, Pacheco for Love, Kupp, Chubb. I would take the Kupp, Love, and Chubb side. However, it's definitely like a scary move to make. Look at Bucky. Bucky's super involved. Looking good. I love Bucky Irving, man. I hope that, it sucks because he's a hard player to hold right now. We've got a lot of like, hey, do I cut Bucky for this guy need an immediate wide receiver? It's a tough call for a lot of people because Bucky's in a running back by committee times. It's a three-way committee. But man, they're using him all over the field. And he looks fantastic. Looks like Bigsby. Bigsby and Bucky are like the same player in like the same situation. Bigsby just rose up above already. Bucky's still trying to fight his way in a three-man committee, but he's absolutely that good. Now Rashad White's back in the game. It's kind of the part that's hard to stomach. Giving London Pacheco. I think I'll probably take Love, Kupp, and Chubb. JD5 is down, need a QB. Well, you may not. I mean, he's week to week. But he could play. 85 down. 3 and 4. AJ Neighbors is depth. I don't mind that trade. And honestly, bro, it's like you're getting Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp in London. I can make an argument I'd rather have Kupp once he's back in the lineup. Oh, man. Evans has 2 guys on him. Both players are on the ground. Evans is standing at the end of it, and Baker overthrew the play a little bit. But that's crazy. Evans is so hard to contain. He's probably the toughest receiver in the league to guard right now. Him. I'd say him. Updated after trades I've done because of you. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Half PPR, 10-man, 2 flex. JJ Neighbors, Nico Dell, Deontay Pickens, Tolbert, Saquon, Kyron, QBs, Dak Burrow. Feel I need a running back because I'm really light. Any suggestions? Both your running backs have had their buys. My suggestion to you, bro, is to back them up. Just to make sure you have both backups. Baker dealing. Godwin, touchdown. Wow, Baker's looking so precise tonight. Is there a flag? There's a flag. Laundry on the play. Offense. It's coming back. Son of a B. Bro, I would back up Kyron and Barkley, and I wouldn't worry too much about your running back situation. Unless you're trading like Deontay for an RB, but like who are you going to get? Who's giving up on RB right now? You could go after Brooks using Deontay Johnson. Pickens, you could trade Pickens. You could also start Pickens, though. Neighbors, Nico, and Pickens and JJ. Like if you could start all 4 of them once they're back. Pickens is a great play right now, too, while you're waiting for Nico. So unless you can get like Achan using Pickens, JT using Pickens in some way that doesn't affect your starters, like you're giving up a Deontay or something, totally fine with that. Nice little screenplay to Auden. Baker says, I'll score anyway. Nice job with your team. All right, guys, I'll be back after the games for a recap show. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for joining me for today's 8 p.m. show. We call it a little short on game days because we come back and do recap shows, so it's kind of a way of getting 2 shows essentially for one. Good luck to everybody that has players in this contest and the Cardinal game. See you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Appreciate you all. We're nearing 31K. So we just need roughly 100 more subscribers to get to 31K. So please subscribe if you're new and smash that thumb up button. And of course, hit the like button on the way out the door. I'll see you all after the game. And yeah, we'll be on the Patreon. Also, don't forget the Patreon. The Patreon is the place to be basically during any game, whether it's a Thursday game, a Monday night game, the Sunday morning and afternoon slate games, the Sunday evening game, the the Thursday games, the Saturday games, when that happens, we're in the Patreon. And these are all the chat rooms. It's basically what we use it for. It's a live chat. These are all the chat rooms. And I'm essentially, all of us are essentially like, it's a ghost town in the rest of them during games because we're all piled into the game day lounge. Like occasionally someone will post like because they're active all day. But then when the games are going, someone's in the general chat going, hey, what'd you guys think of that play? We're like, bro, we're in the game day lounge. What are you doing? So we're all packed in there having conversations, start bench questions, you name it. That link is dropped in the live chat right now. I'm going to pin the link in the top while we're on the way out the door. So join Travis and myself over on the Patreon, and anybody else, Blackbeard, whoever else might be there. Thank you to all my mods. Thank you, Sick Nasty, Blackbeard, Travis, Kenny Powers, if he's out there, Terry Roberts, Sick Nasty, if I didn't say that, Space Ricky. Appreciate you guys all. And then we have one more super chat on the way out the door. If anybody drops a super chat while I'm gone, just repost in the comments. My first ever fantasy play. I appreciate you. Have a blast. Keep up the energy. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for the super chats and all the support, pal. See you guys all after the game. Or after the games. Once both games are concluded.